Since Grey's Anatomy has been on the air for over a decade, it's only natural you'd forget a few things here and there. Even for the most die-hard fans, there is a ton to keep up with. We've seen some favorite characters come and go, but there are some faces you've probably forgotten about. Don't worry, because we'll remind you of just who has slipped your mind from Grey's Anatomy. Before we reminisce about Grey's, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications for more videos from the taco. Let's get started. Demi Lovato. You probably know pop star Demi Lovato from her own musical career, but funnily enough, she appeared in an episode of Grey's Anatomy named after a song by a different artist. We saw Lovato in the episode Shiny Happy People, which took place during season 6 of the show. It may surprise you to know that Demi Lovato is a massive Grey's fan herself. Apparently, while on the set, she couldn't stop excitedly talking to the cast and crew and basically being the ultimate fangirl. In the episode, she played the part of Haley May, a psych patient who was initially and incorrectly diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. And in the doctor's defense, she did have some pretty scary symptoms. She first attempted to scratch her eyes out, then threatened to inject herself with a syringe. Dr. Alex Karev ended up talking her down by promising to run some tests on the young patient, who insisted she wasn't crazy. After initial scans showed nothing, Alex enlisted the help of Dr. Lexi Gray and her photographic memory. Eventually, they diagnosed Haley with superior canal dehiscence syndrome, which they then treated successfully via surgery. The condition causes people to be hypersensitive to sounds and able to hear what's going on in their own bodies. It sounds too crazy to be real, but it's an actual condition which can be treated with surgery, just like in the show. Dylan Manette. Right now, actor Dylan Manette is probably best known for his role in the hit Netflix series 13 Reasons Why. He plays the part of Clay Jensen, the one to whom Hannah Baker leaves all of her tapes. So it might surprise you to know that this star once appeared in an episode of Grey's Anatomy as well. But if you didn't recognize him at the time, we don't blame you in the slightest, because when Manette made his appearance, he was much younger than we are used to seeing him. He appeared in the 5th episode of season 4 of Grey's Anatomy and played a little boy named Ryan who struggled to hear. Not only was seeing a mini Manette a treat for fans, but it isn't the only connection between the cast of 13 Reasons Why and Grey's Anatomy. Fans of both shows know that Kate Walsh plays Addison Montgomery on Grey's and the mother of Hannah Baker on 13 Reasons Why. Not only is this a strange coincidence, but consider that little Manette's character was at the hospital to be able to hear. Thanks to the tireless efforts of McSteamy, he was able to get his ears fixed, enabling Clay Jensen to listen to Hannah's tapes many years later in a different show. Sarah Paulson. Sometimes an actor appearing on 2 different shows makes us wonder if they occur in the same universe. But other times, shooting multiple shows just causes scheduling conflicts, such as the case of Sarah Paulson. She's best known for her work in the American Horror Story franchise, and this is what caused an issue with her on Grey's Anatomy. It's a shame because she played a character involved in a particularly tantalizing scandal. We saw Paulson in the season 6 episode The Time Warp. She played a young Ellis Grey in a series of flashbacks. During the episode, Richard Weber recalls a time when he and Ellis dealt with a patient who was diagnosed with GRID, a virus later revealed to be AIDS. As we're sure all of you Grey's Anatomy fans know, Ellis Grey and Richard Weber would go on to have a scandalous love affair, which resulted in the birth of Meredith's half-sister Maggie. When Paulson appeared on the show, it was with the intention that she would reprise her role later on. That time came during season 11, but unfortunately there was a serious scheduling conflict. Instead, the role of Ellis Grey was played by Sally Pressman instead. Millie Bobby Brown. Talented actress Millie Bobby Brown has been a huge hit ever since she appeared on the hit Netflix series Stranger Things. She showed up in the season 11 episode I Feel the Earth Move and played a girl named Ruby. Curiously enough, someone made a mistake and spelled Bobby incorrectly in the credits. They used an IE instead of a Y, but we assure you it's the same actress and not her evil twin. This was before the actress was so well known, and many may not have recognized her since her hair was way longer than we are used to seeing. In the episode, Ruby and her mother are enjoying a relaxing time in their cabin when disaster strikes in the form of an earthquake. After failing to connect with a 911 operator, Ruby calls the hospital and ends up talking to Dr. Owen Hunt and Dr. Amelia Shepard. She ends up having to take care of her mother under the strict instructions of her doctors. If you're more used to seeing Millie Bobby Brown causing havoc as Eleven on Stranger Things, it may seem strange to see her working as a young makeshift doctor. Thankfully, this plotline had a happy ending and Ruby's mother was able to make it to the hospital and undergo successful surgery. Seth Green. Seth Green may have a successful career, but it seems as if his guest appearances end in tragedy for his character more often than not. In the show My Name is Earl, he once played a character named Buddy who suffered from a terminal illness. Sadly, his character on Grey's Anatomy also wasn't one of the patients who survived. Things were already looking bad for his character Nick Hanscom when he appeared in season 4 of Grey's Anatomy. During the episode Crash Into Me 1, he had a tumor removed, leaving behind only a thin flap of skin covering his carotid artery. Now, even if you're not a doctor, you likely recognize this is a pretty precarious situation. Dr. Mark Sloan warned him that it could rupture, which might cause him to lose too much blood. However, Nick just couldn't stop joking around, which led to his artery bursting when he laughed. They say that laughter is the best medicine, but apparently not in this case. He lost way too much blood and his veins weren't strong enough to hold anymore. He ended up having a stroke and passing away during Crash Into Me 2. Elizabeth Moss. You likely recognize Elizabeth Moss from her role as June in The Handmaid's Tale or as Peggy in Mad Men, but she too once played a part in Grey's Anatomy. She played a woman named Nina Rogerson in the season 3 episode My Favorite Mistake. For an actor who has played so many strong characters, this role was definitely different. In the episode, Nina accompanies her mother to the hospital, and it is apparent that the two have a close relationship. In fact, it may be just a little bit too close, and Nina is frantic at the idea something may happen to her. Her mother has a condition where bone grows over the site of trauma, resulting in Nina feeling overprotective at times. Eventually, her mother agreed to undergo surgery at Nina's urging, only to perish during the procedure. A devastated Nina was assured that her mother wanted her to live her own life after the fact. It was a sad situation, but another terrific acting performance by Elizabeth Moss. Sarah Chalke. You are probably familiar with actress Sarah Chalke from a very different medical show. She famously played Dr. Elliot Reed on the hit show Scrubs, but she also portrayed Casey Hedges in season 9 of Grey's Anatomy during the episode Can't Fight This Feeling. This appearance had a special meaning for Chalke due to a serious condition suffered by her son. Her character Casey Hedges has a son suffering from Kawasaki disease, which Chalke's son Charlie struggled with in real life. Kawasaki disease involves the blood vessels getting inflamed, and it's the leading cause of acquired heart disease in infants and children. Of course, her appearance on Grey's Anatomy was more than a mere coincidence. Chalke opened up about her family's efforts to get her son diagnosed and treated while at a fundraiser. Eventually, she met with Grey's Anatomy's showrunner Shonda Rhimes, who was very interested in her experience. At first, Chalke wasn't sure if she could take part in such a personal project, but in the end, she believed that if Kawasaki disease was represented accurately, she could potentially help other parents recognize the symptoms in their own children. The experiences of Casey Hedges closely mirror what Sarah Chalke went through when trying to help her own son Charlie. Scandal. When it comes to actors who appear on the show Scandal, it might be faster to list who didn't make an appearance on Grey's Anatomy. The crossover between these two shows is huge, although the length and impact of appearances vary. Let's start out with Jeff Perry, who appeared in season 2 through 7. He played the role of Thatcher Grey, the father of Meredith Grey. Then of course we have actor Scott Foley, who played Henry Burton in seasons 7 and 8. Lisa Whale portrayed Allison Clark in the season 5 episode Here's to Future Days. Bellamy Young played a character named Kathy in season 3, and Katie Lowes played a blood donor in the season 7 episode Unaccompanied Minor. Young also appeared in Private Practice, playing Kendra Walker in the episode Take 2. Actor Joshua Molina portrayed the role of Seth Hammer in season 5 of Grey's Anatomy during the episode In the Midnight Hour. Hammer is yet another Scandal actor who has appeared in both Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice. Tessa Thompson. She may have fought against Hela in Thor Ragnarok, but Tessa Thompson was involved in a very different fight during her time on Grey's Anatomy. She portrayed a character named Camille Travis during season 2 who had suffered from ovarian cancer. In the past, Camille had an ovary removed but started having excruciating pain on her prom night. In the hospital, she admitted to experiencing pain earlier, but she didn't want to tell anyone for fear that they wouldn't allow her to attend the school dance. In the episode Losing My Religion, the hospital staff all attended a prom thrown for her at the hospital. Of course, attendance was mandatory, but it was a nice gesture nonetheless. In the heart of the matter, Camille was rushed into the ER when she could no longer breathe. It turns out that the cancer had spread all over her body. Everyone around her encouraged her to fight, but Camille was tired of fighting. Tessa Thompson also made an appearance on the show Private Practice. She played the role of Zoe Salter in seasons 2 and 3. Mandy Moore. Another famous actress who played a tragic part in Grey's Anatomy is Mandy Moore. She played the part of Mary Portman in seasons 6 and 7 of the show. Mary showed up at the hospital to have surgery, but soon an even more pressing situation took place. A gunman showed up at the hospital and everything got locked down. Dr. Bailey tried to pretend like nothing was wrong, but Mary soon figured out the terrifying situation she was in. When Gary Clark entered her room, Mary pretended to be dead and wasn't harmed. But the same couldn't be said for Charles, who was shot in the abdomen when he tried hiding in her bathroom. Later, Mary assisted Dr. Bailey in treating him in the episode Sanctuary. Sadly, there was nothing they could do except offer comfort as he passed away in the episode Death and All His Friends. Mary Portman survived the hospital shooting and went on vacation to celebrate. She eventually returned to have her surgery, but sadly never woke up from the procedure. After lingering for some time in a coma, her husband made the difficult decision to take her off life support. Who has been your favorite celebrity guest star on Grey's Anatomy? Tell us in the comments section and then click on the subscribe button to get more awesome videos from us here at The Taco. We'll see you around next time.